Good day, chaplains. I greet you in the precious name of Jesus, our Lord and Savior. Welcome to this class. I hope you have done your previous homework. You're with the TIACSC Level 1 training right now. The International Association for Community Services Chaplaincy Level 1 training. In our coursework, you'll find our, I think the page 41, 45, there you see it, 45. You'll find us on page 45. Of the coursework, fantastic stuff. It's a small segment of the work, but you'll get one exam question in this segment. So you can go to your course study on page 45. If you don't have a course manual, please email me so that I can send you one. And you can also do the homework that's applicable. So for now, we're going to discuss guidance in the workplace, how to handle that and how to take care of all of that. But before I do, I want to tell you a story. The story was taken from let me just go see the Cambrian, volumes 14 and 15, page 312. Now, the story is about a young boy, or only a boy. An old preacher was met one of his deacons. Listen to the story now. The deacon met with the preacher. The deacon's face wore a very resolute expression, you know. And then he said, "I came early to meet you, Pastor. I have something on my conscience to say to you. Pastor, there must be something radically wrong in your preaching and work. There has been only one person added to the church in a whole year, and he is only a boy." The story is only about a boy. So the old minister listened to this deacon. His eyes moistened, and his thin hand trembled on his broad-headed cane. "I feel it all," he said. "I feel it. But God knows that I've tried to do my duty, and I can trust Him for the results," the pastor added. The deacon said, "Yes, yes, but by their fruits ye shall know them." And one member, only one member, and he too, only a boy, seems to be rather a slight evidence of the true faith and zeal. "I don't want to be hard, Pastor, but I have this matter on my conscience, and I've had done my duty in speaking plainly to you." "True," said the old pastor, "but clarity suffereth long and is kind, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things." "Aye, there you have it, hopeth all things," the pastor said. "I've great hopes of that one boy. Robert is his name," the pastor said. "Some seed that we sow bears fruit late, but that fruit is generally the most precious of it all." So the old minister went to the pulpit that very same day with a grief and heavy heart. He closed his disclosure with dim and tearful eyes. He wished that his work was done forever, and that he was at rest among the graves under the blossoming trees in the old churchyard. He lingered after the rest were gone. Everybody left the sanctuary. He wished to be alone. The place was expressingly dear to him. It had been his spiritual home since his youth. Before before this altar, he had prayed over the dead forms of a bygone generation and had welcomed the children of a new generation. And here, yes, here, he had been told at last that his work was no longer owned and blessed by somebody in his church. No one remained. No one? Only a boy. Now this boy's name was Robert Moffat. He watched the trembling old man. His soul was filled with loving sympathy. He went to him and waited for him to speak. "Well, Robert," said the minister, "do you think if I were willing to work hard for an education, I could ever become a preacher?" "A preacher? Perhaps a missionary," Robert replied. There was a long pause in the room. Tears filled the eyes of the old minister. At length he said, "This heals the ache in my heart, Robert. I see the divine hand now. May God bless you, Robert, my boy. Yes, I think you will become a preacher someday." Many years later, he returned to London from Africa as an aged missionary. His name was spoken with reverence. When he went into an assembly, the people would rise to their feet When he spoke in public, there was a deep silence when he spoke. Nobles invited him to their homes. He had brought under the gospel influence the most savage of African chiefs, and he had given the translated Bible to strange tribes, and his name was Robert Moffat. God has not promised that fruit will come immediately, people, but he does promise that his word will not return void. When you are tempted to give up, remember that God blesses faithfulness. And I want to encourage you, Chaplain, and just tell you today that God will bless your faithfulness. Just keep up, do the good work, do the work of the evangelist, do and complete your mission. That's all that God wants. He wants for us to complete the mission. Well, we're going to see a little bit more about guidance in the workplace or guidance in the marketplace. I hope you can see my slides over there on page 45 in your coursework. You can just follow over there. This is a video insert which I'm not going to show because it's monetized by YouTube. They delete my videos when I enter some other video material, but I'll just put it as an add-on on another day. Okay. So what justifies providing guidance in the workplace? Now this will be in your test. You'll only have to answer two of these. I do not want all of it, please. Two or three, I think. Make it four. But the first thing, what justifies providing guidance in the workplace, is the urgency of the need. Is the counseling required at that point? The employee, does it really need? Is it an urgent matter? Now, for some people, when your dog dies, it may not seem urgent, but for some others, it may. It may be urgent, an urgent matter for that matter. Some years back, I had to counsel one of my old members in the previous church. He phoned me late night and told me, I think it was past 10 or something, I can't even remember, some years back. He also passed on, this guy. He's with Jesus now. So he phoned me and said, Pastor, my dog just died. Now, let me give you a background. Do not judge as yet. Pete, his dog was his life. Well, he was married, but he couldn't have children, but he had his adopted children. But I mean, his dog was his everything at that stage. He loved his dog dearly. So what happened was he couldn't function at work because of that. And I had to counsel him. And that's what I call an urgent need. Because if your work is negatively impacted, the chaplains are needed in the workplace, to guide people in the marketplace. And also, what's the general acceptance of the chaplain on the work side? Do the people appreciate? Now, let me not say appreciate, because there will be some people that doesn't appreciate the chaplain at all, and that's okay. There's many people that don't appreciate you in church, for that matter. But say, for example, people do not accept you, you've got a real big problem in the marketplace. Because some people would say, yeah, you're just going to the chaplain because you do not want to do your job. Now I must fill in for you, fill out and stand in your place. So what is your acceptance? This is the second reason what justifies counseling in the workplace or in the marketplace. The third thing is relationship of the counselee to the other employees. Now the other employees also have an influence on the counseling session, especially when it's in duty or on duty time. When this individual is on duty, they would always make the remark and say, he just wants to run away from his responsibilities at the job. So be careful for that, not to be an excuse for people not to do their job. Therefore, we should always draw a line that people would understand that, yes, of course, your services are available as a chaplain, but you need to understand that the other employees are impacted negatively when you exit your workplace too often. They would know when you they would know when you're too when it becomes too obvious that you only see one person every week when you go there. Say, for example, the chaplain goes to the SARS office here in town once every week, maybe on a Thursday morning between 11 and 12. And every Thursday between 11 and 12, and now 12 o'clock is lunch, but between 11 and 12, this person wants to see you every week, every week. That means he's abusing the privilege, because there's some other people also who would like to see you. So you should consider also in this regard, the relationship the counselor has got with the other employees, that's important. And then the importance, or excuse me, the appearance of propriety. Now, propriety, the definition you'll find is the quality or state of being proper or suitable. Appropriateness, this is a better word for propriety. Let's change that word here and say the appearance of propriety or appropriateness. Are you appropriate? Is the chaplaincy guidance now appropriate for the situation? Conformity to what is socially acceptable in conduct or speech, uh, uh, properties or plural, whatever the case may be, but it needs to be a peculiar service you give, something somebody else isn't able to give, and you, from as an outsider or even an insider, can offer that guidance to the workforce. Then also length of time needed to counsel on the job. How much time do you need to counsel on the job? So counseling shouldn't last more than 35, 40 minutes at the most. You know, if you counsel people for 2 hours, it's not only tiring on them, but also on you. I mean, counseling sessions isn't only about you sitting there for 2 hours and there is no communication. Communication builds bridges between people, and you get the opportunity to help them and guide them through their difficult situations. Now, what I'm actually saying is that you should limit your counseling sessions. If you're in a position where you do counseling and you've got obviously a counseling degree of some sort, and you do counseling and you counsel people for more than 2 hours, you've got a real big problem. Every counseling session shouldn't be a crisis counseling session. Now, crisis counseling session may or may not need more than 40 to 45 minutes. I really try to limit my counseling sessions because it's very tiring on me, but also on my clients. And it really impacts the next counseling session also, because then, of course, you want to rush yourself because you have to go, um, because the previous counseling session just took too long. So watch out for that pitfall and respect the time the workplace has given you. If they give you 1 hour a week, respect that. Respect that with all due. And then also the last one on the page here is the counseling job related. Now what you need to understand is, even if it's not job related, um, it may be an urgent need that needs to be addressed and it's not job related. But it's always a question you'll need to ask when you provide counseling at the workplace, because somebody in management would ask you, but is this job related, chaplain? Then you need to answer them, yes, sir, it is, because there's an urgent need that requires my attention with this member because he's suffering grief. He's going through the stages of grief. Even if it's a dark stage, he will go through the stages of grief. But we'll look into that on a later stage. So, work reflects your character also. I read the story somewhere, but work is an expression of the image of God in you. Listen now carefully, chaplain. Work, your work, let's say your work, is an expression of the image of God in you, and it's worth thinking about how your work reflects His character also. Work as simple as cleaning out a closet reflects the God who makes order out of chaos. My children's got closet, even mine sometimes. I just see the order of God coming in there when He creates order out of chaos. Then also, holding a stop sign for children to cross the road creates an environment of safety that reflects the God who protects you. And also the person who flips burgers is providing food, which is something that God does. He provides food. A father or mother who nurtures a kid or a child reflects the love, the patience, and perseverance of God. The CEO of a large business or company holds things together and moves things forward for the company, because people need to get paid at the end of the month. This is too also a reflection of God's work in our lives. Isn't it amazing to know that what you do and how you do it, you need to do it unto the glory of God? Because that's typical of God's character within you. There's some do's in the workplace and don'ts in the workplace you need to understand. And when you want to provide guidance in the workplace, with all due, go for it. You should do it. You should do the best you can out there. But the first thing you need to understand is you should speak positively when you enter into the workplace. When you're entering and give guidance in the workplace, you need to be positive about your life. You need to be positive about people around you, positive about the environment or the conditions and stuff like that. We shouldn't allow pity parties at the job, because when you and another client sits with you and you sit and there's a pity party, you complaining and negative things, and he complains about negative things, and sooner or later you'll be wasting hours and hours of government time or the company that asked you to come in to do some guidance in the workplace. So speak positively, because you only have so much time at the workplace. You have so much time in your position as chaplain to function optimally, to do your best, and God will do the rest. But you need to be positive in your approach. Whatever you do, do it positively. And then also treat others with respect, chaplain. When you think about this, I mean, it just makes sense. Respect is like a seed you sow. And when you give respect, respect will be given. When you give love, love will be given. When you give reverence, reverence will be given. Whatever you give is what you get, the book of Galatians says. Paul addresses the church in Galatia and he says to them, whatever you sow, God will not be mocked. Whatever you sow, you will reap. So when you sow respect, respect will come back to you. But treat other people in the marketplace with respect, no matter how you feel about them, no matter if you're angry about them because they've gossiped the chaplain, whatever the case may be, you should treat them with respect and forget about what happened yesterday. And then also maintain confidentiality. In all cases, you need to maintain your confidences with people. Remember now, confidence it belongs to the client. It's the chaplains to protect. You need to protect the confidences of people with your life. You shouldn't let information come out of your mouth which you actually need to keep quiet about. I mean, you know the three reasons why you can breach confidentiality. The first one is when a person wants to commit suicide, when a person wants to kill another person, or thirdly, when a person wants to kill a group of people. It's like suicide, homicide, and genocide. So when that's the case, of course, you'll have to break confidentiality, because that's a legal matter, of course. Then also recognize and honor other people in the marketplace. We live like this all over we go. We go into the shop, right, or Pick and Pay or car dealership. We pump the petrol. Wherever we go, we honor others. We honor others with our behavior, with our attitude. Remember now, our attitude becomes our latitude. So your attitude determines a lot of things. So you need to be careful about your attitude, because people would see your attitude and they will see straight through you. But recognize and honor other people also in your life. And then set office hours, chaplain. You should set your office hours. This is a do. Listen now, it's a do. It's not for your taste, but it's for your best. Well, to do this, to set office hours. This is the way to go. That way, to set office hours. You need to set office hours no matter what and who tells you you're not supposed to set office hours. You should set office hours, because it will give a kind of a disciplined environment to the workforce, to the workplace, so that they will know on 6 o'clock on Monday mornings, the chaplain will be there for a devotion, or 8 o'clock, whatever the case may be. And don't miss that opportunities then. If you have office hours set out, then don't miss the opportunities that will be coming to you, because later on, they will just forget about you. They will just say, well, the chaplain, if he's here, he's here. If he's not, he's not. Don't be that kind of chaplain. Then also invest time, talent, and resources into the agency. You've got time. You have it. You've got talents. You've got so much talent. Even if you can just speak to people one on one, that is a talent. I mean, you've got resources, you've got this training, you've got all of the needed equipment you need. You've got the toolbox to get into the agency and make a difference in there. But it starts with your time. You need to invest it. You need to invest your talents. You need to put it in something greater than yourself. Because working in the agency as a chaplain opens doors up for you. It gives you a key to the management. It gives you a key to the city later on. But you need to endure. You need to stand firm. You need to push, and you need to learn and teach yourself. You need to come for level 2 and come for level 3 in this training, so that you can be the best there in the workplace or the agency. Then also, one of the other do's is participate in staff training when you can. If you know staff training is going to happen on Sunday, of course, you may not leave your church on Sunday, but if it happens on any other day, just try to attend one or two training sessions, staff training sessions, if you can, just to show face. I mean, it's not by face. Some people buy face, and like for example, they give things to buy people's attention. I'm not saying that, but you just put yourself there in the staff training, be available. Even if you could do the staff training yourself, it will be helpful to understand what the employees are going through. But putting yourself there also creates an opportunity with the training staff so that you can also be involved in future training opportunities. So that you can be a kind of a person to go to. When people need something, they go to the chaplain because they would rather go to the chaplain than they go to management because they trust the chaplain. The chaplain will be trusted because he maintains confidentiality, no matter what the case may be. Even if a person stole from the workplace, you maintain confidentiality, and they know it very well. So the chaplain will be a safe place to go to. But if you tell something like you stole something from the workplace and you tell it to management, they will arrest you. You will go to jail. But with the chaplain, your information will be safe. The chaplain will obviously then put you in counseling and counsel you very well, hopefully, not to do it anymore. But also utilize employee assistance office. Listen, I'm just going to give a disclaimer. If somebody steals, please address them as quickly as possible because you cannot get involved in these kind of things. Because if the information comes out, it can be devastating for your chaplaincy career. Also, utilize employee assistance office if you can. If they have an employee assistance office, not all, yes, all government institutions should have an employee assistance office, and semi-government also. But not everybody's got an employee assistance office. It's very good to have an employee assistance office, but utilize these people. They are for the employees. I mean, it's social workers, counselors, and stuff, people like that. So the chaplain should make use of those people and get them on board, or you get on board for them. Many times the employee assistance officers won't speak to the chaplain, but the chaplain can go and speak to them. They feel they don't need the chaplain, but the chaplain feels they need them. You know how it's the business in church and non-church people. You know how it works out there in the world. I'm almost at the close of this session. This is the don'ts. Now, these do's and don'ts in the marketplace or in the workplace when concerning counseling and when you speak to people in a counseling format. Don't fail to return calls. If you got a call and your inbox says, please leave a message, I'll get back to you. Don't do that. I've even deleted my messages while my voicemail because I didn't want to lie to people because many times I'll forget to phone people back. But when you say to people, listen, I'm going to phone you, I'm going to call you, and you don't do that, don't fail to return calls because this will also destroy your chaplaincy career in a heartbeat in the marketplace because people um, they'll sit and wait until you phone. They'll wait and they'll wait, and then it'll become frustrated, and then the frustration will become an inspiration, and they'll just turn their back on you, because you said you're going to phone, but you never did. Then also don't polarize to the administration about what you done in the marketplace or in the workplace, and don't polarize to them and say, hey, I just saw um, Jacob over there. He's got some marriage problems. Just be light on him, please, sir. No, don't polarize to the administration because if you do, confidences may not be protected by the administration. They may speak about him and tell other people in the administration or in management, listen, Jacob's got a couple of marriage issues. Please don't put too much pressure on him right now. Let's give him a little bit breathing space. Don't do that. If Jacob wants to do that, that's just fine. But don't you polarize to the administration about anything because it can be hazardous for his future. It can cause an uproar in his emotions and also cause serious problems for his work ethics and so on. So also don't violate a confidence. If you if it's not for the right reasons, suicide, homicide, and genocide, don't violate a confidence. If you violate a confidence, people will remember that forever and ever. They will remember you as the chaplain that speaks out on their issues. Don't speak out on people's issues. So, can you use some people as an example in preaching and say, um, somebody came to see me the other day, they are experiencing this problem. If you do such an example, don't tell them last Thursday between 11 and 12 when I was here at the workplace, somebody came and see me because people will remember somebody stepped into your office that day and they will know who it is. So don't do that. You'll just say a couple of months ago, something like that rather. Some years back, some people came to see me. Don't say last Thursday, because obviously you'll break a confidence and people won't come and see you again because they cannot trust you with the information. Remember now, when people come and trust you with the information, they put their lives in your hand. They put their very trust in your hand. Trust is like life itself. Trust is like life itself, because if they are willing to speak to you trustfully, they trust that you're not going to break and damage their confidence. And also, don't avoid dirty jobs like getting people out of the bar. And when somebody phoned from the workplace and tells you, listen, Monet is in the bar on the corners of Zendeling and Kruger Street, or whatever the case may be. And he should be at the workplace right now, but he went on lunch 12 o'clock, he never returned, it's already 3 o'clock, he's supposed to come back. Don't avoid going there and saying, oh, I'm too holy, I cannot go into this kind of places. If they ask you on that, just go. What are you worried about? Are you worried that somebody from the church would see you there? Why are they there? Don't be stressed out because people will see you stepping out of these kind of places. Why? Because you are there for the right reasons, for people's sake. I mean, even Jesus, when he was sitting with Zacchaeus, and I used the example of Zacchaeus in the previous session, when Jesus came to Zacchaeus and he said to Zacchaeus, hey man, come out of the tree. I want to come to your house. People also looked into the house like very curious and looked into the house. They didn't come inside, because if they would have come inside of the house, they would have seen the communication and the interaction Jesus had with the people around the table, that it was all about love and sharing his own life's experiences and so on. But no, they criticized from outside. And this is what will happen. When you avoid dirty jobs or do the dirty job, people from outside that domain will criticize. Don't stress about them. They also criticized Jesus. But Jesus didn't avoid dirty jobs because he loved every soul, including yours. Just imagine somebody didn't come and pick you out from that dirty place. But Jesus, he came. He came for us. Don't get trapped in employee grievance procedures. This will take a long time sometimes, and it will really trap you, because when you are involved in employee grievance procedures, especially when you're an ad hoc chaplain or an hourly chaplain, for example, they just rent you on Thursdays or whatever the case may be in that environment, they won't get you back. They will let your contract expire, or if you're an employee at that company and they use you as an ad hoc chaplain, they will ask you, Chaplain, you're not supposed to get involved in employee grievance procedures. Let the shop stewards do their job. Let you do the pastoring and the chaplaincy and the caring for people. What I've done in the past is, when people comes to me and they wanted me to get involved in a grievance procedure because they know I'm a good backdoor or an escape door. Because remember now, if you get involved and the employee won the case against the government or against the employer will always remember that you interfered in a grievance procedure. That will cost them money, it costs them time, and a lot of things. So they will remember that, and they won't forget that easily. So rather not get involved in this kind of things. It's not a dirty job. Getting involved in a grievance procedure is not a dirty job. It's easy to become involved in these kind of matters. But when this person actually wins the case, the employee wins the case, he will forget about you the minute he steps out of that grievance procedure. The whole government or the whole agency would hate you because you won the case for this person, but that person that just walked out will just forget about you in the instance you won the case. So watch out for these kind of things. So what I've done in the past is I would sit with people and counsel them before the grievance procedure. I will counsel them before grievance procedure. I'll even drive them there, but I won't go inside and interfere in the job of the presiding officer in there. I will just sit outside and tell them, listen, I'll wait outside for you. You just go in. And when they ask me, they say, Pastor, come in. I'll just say, I'm okay. I'll just be here. I'll pray for him outside. So yeah, that's how I've done all my years as a chaplain. Don't fail to refer to other agencies, and that only means that when a person's really got a big problem with alcohol, don't fail to refer this person to a rehab center of some kind. Or when the person is involved with heroin and all kinds of drugs, don't don't fail to refer this person to the correct agencies because they're also there to help. You're gonna do everything. I know you think you can because you think you've got a messiah mentality. We shouldn't be like that. We are all helping one another. So let other people also do a part in healing people around in the workplace. And also don't speak ill of the EAP officer. I know the EAP officers, and I've got my fair share about EAP and people working in the EAP sections all over the world, but EAP sometimes would speak ill of the chaplains because chaplains are another kind of breed. They are adorable. Let me say it in plain English language. They are adorable. They are really suffering for the sake of the kingdom. And even if they don't get any money, they don't mind. But the AP officers, they mind. They won't do anything for free. They don't do anything for free. But we've got EAP officers as volunteer chaplains also. But I'm talking in general now. But even though you may feel you can say this or this about the EAP officers, don't speak ill of the EAP officers because you know what's going to happen. People would come to you and they will speak ill of the EAP officers with you in counseling or in session. And when you speak with them about that, they'll go to the EAP officers. Remember now, the EAP officers is full-time employed and you are a volunteer. And then what will happen is the EAP officers will get a dislike in you and they will also then polarize to the administration about your doings and your speakings and stuff like that. And it will hurt your ministry. If you can, don't even speak about them. But don't fail to refer also to EAP because people also need EAP people. They need social workers. They need mental institutions. So yes, speak and be a balanced chaplain. Be balanced. If it's one thing you remember for this session, just be balanced in your approach and have the attitude of Jesus. And then lastly, don't compromise to be one of the guys. And I know some of you would feel that I want to be one of the guys. I want to be some important chaplain out there. But I don't want to encourage you. All of us, we are important. Every single chaplain on this room is important. And by taking this moment and by taking this time, away from your busy schedules and seeing the do's and the don'ts and implementing this in your conduct as a workplace encourager or a workplace chaplain, well done, chaplain. Go for it, and do your best and God will do the rest. Thank you for listening. See you around.